I'm bored. Let's watch Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. All right, so we're still talking about Snow White. The movie has been out for a month. It's not performing well. I haven't seen anybody going, fighting tooth and nail to defend the honor of Snow White. We have a bunch of adult men who need to make a bunch of money on the internet, and the only way they can do it right now is to complain about a children's film. There's lots of other things they could be talking about, but they're still complaining about Snow White. Take what you will from that. But have no fear, we're not going to watch this whole video. Matter of fact, we're only going to watch a small section of this video. And that's because Jeremy, who is clearly not a serious person, he's admitted that himself, disingenuous, grifty, liar, scumbag, who is trying to lie about what review bombing is. Because he doesn't like that review bombing is a real thing. It happens. So he is going to sort of like feed misinformation and disinformation to his crowd by omitting details of review bombing and misunderstanding what it is, purposely telling them the wrong information, purposely telling them the incorrect way to gauge what review bombing is. And I have more to say on that, but let's watch this clip first so I can debunk it.
Snow White was review bombed. Now, here's where the excuses come into play. Shortly after Snow White hit theaters, users of the popular movie database IMDb left many negative reviews for the film that prompted a warning from the website. The site flagged unusual voting activity on Snow White's IMDb page. The site shows a 1.6 out of 10 rating for the movie from IMDb users. Yeah, so of course they're claiming that it was review bombed because
well, they would know. It's their site. And how you determine whether a review bombing has occurred requires a lot of technical details that he's not going to talk about here. One of them is they determine IP clusters, like an influx of reviews coming in from the same address. Because then they can determine whether or not it's a real person, if it's a person with like 100 Google accounts, 100 different accounts to log into IMDb, if it's a person using bots. This is how they determine that. So it's not like they just look at, Barry the Troll 11111's account and go, this is a review bomb. This person obviously is review bombing. No, there's a process to determine whether or not review bombing activity has happened. Now, I'm not saying whether or not I believe every single negative review of a movie over time, something that's massively disliked, has been the subject of a review bomb. But it's very clear when movies like Snow White or any other movie that gets released that's got these guys coming after it receives negative reviews not shortly after the release, but before the movie or the TV show even comes out. That is what we've seen in the past. So those are clearly review bombs. And this is kind of a self-report because he's going to talk here in a second about why he thinks it's valid to do these things. And I'm going to explain to you why there's been a shift in culture in a way that I don't even think they're comprehending because they can't see it. They're too deep in it. Let's go.
This is the argument that they always go with every time, that it can't be the bad movie that produced all the negativity. It just must be review bombing.
No, they're not saying that. There is a possibility that a movie is poorly received. There's a possibility that a movie gets a ton of negative reviews legitimately. That's not what review bombing is. Review bombing is campaigns, orchestrated campaigns that can be tracked on the internet and then corroborated with IP addresses that these sites see coming in and downvoting things and negatively voting things. It's not simply Joe Schmo who decided they didn't like Snow White going on and leaving a negative review. It is a coordinated effort to come after the movie. This is things they can prove. This is things they know. This isn't an excuse. This is simply you not agreeing with the fact that review bombing actually happens. But in a second, he's going to admit that it does, and he's going to condone it. Let's continue.
I've went over the review bombing nonsense more times than I can count. There's no such thing as review bombing in terms of just negativity. Review bombing happens positively and negatively.
Right. So you just don't like the term review bombing. To you, you don't like that because the opposite of that is love bombing, which is where somebody goes and artificially inflates the score of something. Both of those things can happen. They're both possible, and they are both detrimental to the actual critique of the art. How about that? However, when it comes to love bombing, And let's explain the difference here. When someone goes on and love bombs something, they're not attacking the actors. They're not attacking the writers. They're not attacking the directors. So there's a stark contrast in the fan reception with love bombing versus review bombing. Because when you're going to go on and negatively review something, typically it's followed up with some sort of like socially acceptable hatred towards them, like your issue with Rachel Zegler. So if I were to go on and positively review a movie disingenuously or love bomb it, whatever you want to call it, if I were to do that, what are the chances that I'm going to harass actors? What are the chances of that? Oh, probably zero. Probably zero. So there is an issue with negative review bombing culture. It is a culture. And there's another culture that this borrows from, and we're going to get to that in a second.
That's just how it is because that's fandom. They've never reported on positive review bombing.
Because positive review bombing does not correlate. It doesn't come along with a bunch of people attacking actors and directors and stuff like that. I don't think these outlets care about the bombing aspect of it if it didn't come with the hate. If the hate didn't exist, this wouldn't even be an issue. But you guys have cultivated a community that openly goes after people and says some of the worst things to them. So giving something a 1-star review is the least of the worries of these outlets. It's the least of it.
As I've said many times, I'm a Christopher Nolan fan. Christopher Nolan fans positively review bomb.
Here comes the personal anecdotal portion of the video where he tries to bring you in with some sort of emotional hook. See, he's just one of us. He's a Christopher Nolan fan, but he's going to explain to you why he thinks that Christopher Nolan is overrated. This is anecdotal. This is what these guys do very well. It's one of their biggest grifts, is to be able to personally connect with the people that they are indoctrinating in this culture. It's a very, very useful tool for them.
Christopher Nolan movies a lot. Go look how highly ranked Nolan's movies are on IMDb. It's insane. Now, I think that it's justified too on a lot of them, but to sit there and act like it doesn't happen, this is what the media does.
So what are the negative fallout? What's the negative fallout from positively reviewing something, giving it a little bit of love? Right? What's the negative repercussion? Are the movies bad? Are they bad movies? Or are they like 8s and 9s and somebody gave it a 10? What is the end result of that makes it a bad thing versus what's happening with the negative reviews? Because you're leaving a lot of that out. You're leaving out the culture behind the negative reviews. It's interesting.
They only want to build a negative narrative around it for negativity towards fans because they can't say that.
Why would fans be the ones downvoting something? Why would fans of something go out and review bomb it? Downvote it. Massively downvote it. This is the issue I have with you guys. You call yourself fans of something, but then your entire fandom is built around negativity. That's what it is. You've admitted this yourself. And I also don't think you're a fan of Snow White. I don't believe that. And I don't believe the people that are downvoting it en masse are fans of Snow White.
Fans are positive. Zack Snyder fans are the same way. They are positively review bombing Zack Snyder movies because they love Zack Snyder. I don't see anything wrong with positivity or negativity based on how you feel on what's going on.
So it's how you feel now. So the facts over feelings crowd. The facts over feelings crowd. The facts don't care about your feelings crowd. This community right here. Jeremy is now justifying disliking something proactively en masse because of your feelings. So this is the big issue. This is an offshoot of what they would call cancel culture. Okay? Because he is telling people that it is okay to proactively, without ever seeing the movie or the TV show, proactively go over and downvote something because of how you feel. This to them would be soy boy shit. This would be soft. This would be weak. But here he is talking about how you feel about something. Let's run this back before we wrap this video.
They are positively review bombing Zack Snyder movies because they love Zack Snyder. I don't see anything wrong with positivity or negativity based on how you feel on what's going on. And Disney put an actress at the forefront of this movie that didn't deserve to be Snow White. She attacked the iconic 1937 classic.
Didn't deserve based on what criteria? He has no criteria. He has nothing to do with that. That's all. It's strictly just his opinion.
Classic animated film. She attacked all the history involved. She attacked the fan base. She attacked Trump supporters. They don't like her.
I wonder, is attacked in the room with us right now? That's what I feel whenever I hear this. When he says attacked, he simply means her stating her opinion. So is he attacking us? Is this an attack on me? Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers attacks other fans of something. Attacks this, attacks that. It is one of those words they use to try and pull an emotional response from you. I think we're just going to stop here. We're going to stop here. I think this is enough of all of this. Review bombing happens. It is a coordinated effort, usually socially online, and it can involve a multitude of accounts from one person or bots. There's ways for them to judge it. They use IP addresses to track all this down. These companies do this because they want to basically fight back against how their sites are being used in a culture war. A culture war these guys can't let go of because it's feelings over facts for them. This is an extension of cancel culture. Review bombing and going after people and trying to get them taken out of movies and TV shows and all of these things. This is them just extending cancel culture within their own community. The same thing that they claim they fight against, the things they don't agree with, using your feelings to determine how to judge something, using cancel culture to attack things, making up false pretenses, false scenarios to bring things down. These are all things that these guys say they adamantly denounce. They're not a part of. And here Jeremy is in this video condoning all of it.